Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about tonight. I was listening to the Twitter files. So I was totally engrossed in that. Very interesting. And Sebastian Gorka got himself a little bristled up. And somebody's about talking smack about that. Devin Nunes, he didn't care for that. I could tell. He was quiet, and I knew he was probably holding his tongue to keep from cussing too much. And the Trump cards are sold out. So they're, hi, Nikki. So they are, hi, how you doing, Fine and Dory? So they're a collector's item now. Everybody was saying, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to buy these or not, but, well, it's not anything we can buy anymore. So anyway, the FBI was discussed. They had a whistleblower on there for the FBI. But we got people coming in the chats, and I am going to play a quick video just to see how that does. Y'all let me know if I got a good signal going or not. Whoa, wait a minute. Let me see what I got going on here. Hold on a second, and I will play the video. If I can get it to pull up. Here we go. Remember this guy? He's from Australia. And it's just to give you an idea of the political direction this whole thing is going.
Klaus Schwab's life by subscription, quote, is really serfdom. It's slavery. Billionaire globalist corporations will own everything: homes, factories, farms, cars, furniture. And everyday citizens will rent what they need, if their social credit score allows. The plan of the Great Reset is that you will die with nothing. To pull off this evil plan, Klaus Schwab needs to take more than from Australians. Very today who support the reset threaten our privacy, freedom, and dignity. Yes, they're in this Senate chamber. One Nation vehemently opposes the Great Reset, Digital Identity Bill, theft of agricultural land use, forcing farmers off their land, and reset. One Nation has a comprehensive plan to bring our beautiful country back to sustainable prosperity. And in the months ahead, we will plan out. Instead of Klaus Schwab's Great Reset with the tagline, "You will own nothing and be happy," One Nation advocates the Great Resist. We stand for a world where communities have primacy over predatory globalist billionaires and their quisling bureaucrats, politicians and mouthpiece media. One Nation accepts the challenge to provide a better future for everyday Australians. We have one flag, we are one country, and we are one nation. Madam Academic President.
All right, I haven't played that in a little while, so I hope it came across smooth to everybody. Oh, it's chopping, what? Well, I won't play too many videos. As long as I can get through, I'll recycle some memes because I want to do some talking about what's going on here. The video was choppy. Hi, Pappy Two Bears. Hi, Bubba. Hi, Wanda. Hi, Quilt. Georgia, how you doing? David Hutchins, how you doing? Jan. Nice to meet you, Jan. Ann and Jan, Doc. And I can't go but so far back and find Happy Days, finding Dory. So how's my voice coming through? Is that coming through smooth enough for you? Yes, hit the thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up even though the video was choppy. Ha ha. Anyway, how many of you all watched the Twitter situation? I thought we were going to have a little knockdown drag out on the Twitter thing with, okay, good, my voice is smooth, with Sebastian Gorka. And I thought it was a senator named Massey. But somebody else was saying it was somebody else. Somebody said he'd been in Congress 10 years, and I ain't never heard of him. But anyway, we'll get to that. But so everybody should have got their Trump cards because you can't buy them anymore. They're all sold out and they're done on the blockchain. So, you can't forge them. So Tom Fitton was on there too, and he brought up a lot of good points. And I thought it was one of the better presentations that this Twitter group has done. And not only because of the situation with Gorka getting a little rowdy. He didn't get rowdy. He got quiet. And I said, oh, boy, that tells me there he's not in a good mood. But anyway, I was watching it over there on NPC show. I've talked about that in the past. And if you go on there, make sure you don't use any keywords. Make sure you don't drop any links or push any channels, because he will spin a wheel and pretty much take you down for a week or take you down for good. So anyway, just be careful of that. It's a good show. I enjoy watching it. Just got to be careful in the chats, because that's his bread and butter. He works hard. He's up for hours sometimes, hours. Anyway, hi, Kristen. How you doing? Doug, how you doing? You don't think they were for sale, Nikki said. Ha ha. Well, I tell you, that was funny. A lot of people got different opinions on that. And I watch that Sticks, Hex, and Hammer kid. I say he's a good hippie. He's a young hippie. I watch him, and I watch Tim Pool too. I know I got on Tim Pool a little bit. And I don't think Tim Pool was wanting to dox Elon Musk. I checked some of his broadcasts out, and I didn't see that. I think some of his guests were griping that Elon Musk took down some people for doxing, and they weren't happy with people being taken down. But I don't think he wanted Elon Musk doxed. But anyway, I watch the younger crowd, so to speak, and Hex and Hammer was like, I feel, hit the nail on the head, that if Trump hadn't done something like that, said, hey, buy my cards, he would have never got a mention in the media. So he did the card thing. Everybody said, oh, it's just a stupid thing about some cards. And that put Trump in. 2 hours later, boom, he puts out that 6-minute video. Now, some of us got punked last night. I'll get into that later. I don't like that kind of business. Yeah, that's right. It could get somebody hurt. That's right. Some of them, I heard them saying, well, it's public knowledge. Yeah, well, it ain't public knowledge where you got thousands of people trying to find out your every move on an airplane. And even Dirk Johnson said, sitting around watching a bunch of airplanes fly around, he thought that was kind of ridiculous. And I've talked about Eric Johnson in the past. I think, he's going over stuff many of us have gone over before, and a lot of people listen to him. And some stuff I think he's off base on. But, even when he comes out and says, hey, pulling up that app and watching planes fly around and getting all excited that something's going to happen, it's like last night, some big secret. Trump is going to, he's recording 9 p.m. And I'm on my broadcast, and I was doubtful of it. He'd already made 2 announcements, and we covered the one where he said civilization, Western civilization was at risk, and it was victory or death. I went over all that stuff. So, oh gosh, he's going to make an announcement at 9 p.m. And okay, he made the announcement on Newsmax. Okay, we'll close down the broadcast and I'll go watch the 9 o'clock or whatever it was. This guru was saying he had inside information on. We go watch it on Newsmax, the same stuff we just talked about. So that same thing as watching planes fly around, same things as sitting around waiting for the EBS, tuning in a Radio Shack scanner, and let's listen to, so I, kind of miffed me a little bit because I had some other things I wanted to discuss last night. But I said, hey, I don't want to talk about stuff. If I'm missing big news, Trump might get on there and say, so I got suckered too. So I can't say much about it. But I said something about it anyway. Watch out for those gurus that got inside information. So anyway, this FBI whistleblower got on the Twitter files and he said, well, I'm suspended from the FBI. They're not giving me a paycheck and they still say I work for them. But I don't feel like I work for him. And he had been verbose about going after the parents at school board meetings, going after people protesting at clinics when there was very serious stuff going on. He was complaining about being sent out basically on a political agenda instead of doing a job focusing on serious crimes. And one of them is exploitation. So he discussed that in pretty good depth. But, the moderators on this Twitter thing, they're talking over top of each other. Half of them forget to mute their mics. You're getting feedback. People interrupting guests. I just wish they'd get all their poop in one bucket, and try to be a little more professional. I mean, I'm not that good at this myself. I mean, I talked for 5 minutes before I got on the air here because I had the thing set on private broadcast. I didn't even know it. So I make mistakes. But I mean, gosh, how many of these big things are they going to be able to do and continue to have these little namby-pamby problems where they can't communicate? Well, it's like listen to a bunch of teenagers in Snapchat. So anyway, Dory, you were there on Frank's show. That was Congressman Massey, wasn't it? Who was getting into it with Sebastian Gorka. But anyway, somebody else got into it. That's what maybe I didn't understand what was going on, because before Frank closed his show, he said there was some other liberal on there that got Sebastian fired up too. And I missed that. But anyway, I'll talk about Sebastian. I think it was Congressman Massey. And he said, I've been in Congress for 10 years. He said that at least twice, probably 4 times. And I can't even put a face to the voice. But I know Nunes and I know Jim Jordan. They've been in the forefront for a long time. So anyway, he just discussed that a lot of these FBI agents were in a go-along to get along situation for their careers. They're the rank and file. You hear that a lot, and even Mr. T brought up the rank and file. I mean, there are people that have house payments. They got children. They got, they have careers, and they find themselves in this go along to get along situation. That's what made me bring up last night the olive branch where Trump was pretty much hinting that if people work with the real Justice Department and abandon this political crap, things will be a lot better. I felt that's what I was feeling was being said. Let me see. Let me check chats. Some of the things I'm missing here. Wait a minute. T made another speech on True Social. No, I talked. That's the one I talked about, Bubba. That's right. I mean, you just watch. That's right, Georgia. You're just watching planes go around. And, well, you get 100,000 people every, 5 times a week? Oh, there's planes flying around. No kidding. Let's see. I'm trying to scroll through the chats, folks, but it's freezing up on me. I hope my video's not freezing up. Let's see. Go back and watch MW, old videos of Google, the planes he's talking about, and you'll understand what he's talking about. Well, I'm not going to sit around and watch that. I mean, for what, 2 years, been watching planes fly around? Like I said, if they got something up there and they don't want you to know about it, Monkey Works included, I've worked with those apps, and I've worked with those computers, and I know what they can do and what they can't do. If they don't want you to know about it, you're not going to know about it. Neither is Monkey Works. But hey, it's a job, right? That inside guy lost me when Mr. T announced he was running again. His comments, whoops, this is jumping around me. Told me everything I needed to know. That's right, Nikki. I know I'm not calling out no names, but you hear some. Yeah, I got him, Nikki, but I haven't had a chance to pull him up. I had to set up the broadcast. I had to take care of this goofball cat. I had to stock up the fireplace. I had to make dinner, and I had to see what was going on with the Twitter drops. And I figured if there's a big news popping out, that I'd see it, or hear about it while I was conducting my busy work. So anyway, I know what this FBI whistleblower was talking about, and I know what Sebastian Gorka was talking about, and I know what he got Devin Nunes on the line. He was going to try to get him on the show. But anyway, this FBI whistleblower, I'm going to focus on one thing at a time as I go down, because this is what it boils down to, letting the people know how badly politicized our law enforcement has become. It is not a law enforcement agency anymore. There's law enforcement. They don't do that. And I'm talking about the 7th floor, the leaders, the entrenched officials that are higher up, that are intimidating or directing the rank and file in ways they should not be directed. Elon Musk has busted up in just a few short weeks. He's busted up more child exploitation situations. He's gathered more evidence in just a few weeks than the FBI has done in over 2 years. And they're getting a paycheck, like that one FBI agent said. They're getting a paycheck for enforcing a private company's rules and political preferences rather than enforce the law. And they're getting a federal paycheck for doing the bidding of a private company that has a political agenda that is adverse to our Constitution and to our 45th president, duly elected. They were working against him. So this is huge. I mean, it's huge. And instead of law enforcement, they're practicing lawfare against the American people. I don't know, George. He may have been told not to. Oh, somebody was putting down Jesus. I wouldn't listen to them either. Yep. Next we'll see is the cover up. I've guarded in the Air Force or been on a lot of the military planes Monkey Works is talking about. Well, for 2 years, been looking up in the sky. I tell you, I can give you an app you can download and do it yourself. I don't know. But it's like, well, let me see what I got here. I have to go out of my studio for that. But I mean, it's like everybody waiting on the EBS. Everybody going to watch the water. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. And people getting themselves worked up. Last night it was Trump is going to he has asked for airtime and he's going to do another announcement. And we get on there and it's something we already heard, So, yeah, okay. Anyway, here, how about this one? Let's try this. I don't know. I just like watching it.
Today, Dr. Oz is going to be standing with Donald Trump on the stage. And I'm going to be proud to be standing with a president that is 100% sedition-free.
They say he's the best dressed. He's voted as best dressed. So anyway, here, did I put this one up yet? Let me see what's going on in the chats. There you go. In case you haven't had that one yet. Pillow talk. That's what I'll call this one, pillow talk. Let's see. Just seeing if there's anything new in the chats. But anyway, let's see if I put this one up yet. I don't think I put this one up yet. Anyway, so you had Sebastian Gorka on the show, and they had a congressman come on. And, the other thing this FBI whistleblower did was called the situation a information industrial complex. He said, this has gotten bigger than the military industrial complex with profiteering. I felt that the implication was that some people are getting a little side money for doing investigative work on, I don't know, say, high K&S cleanup, getting a little information on some political opponents, or not publicly doxing, but doxing people for the government, doing a lot of stuff with, hey, information is money. So it's the tip of an iceberg, as many of you all have said in the chats. And so I thought he was very interesting, but he was getting interrupted quite a bit, and he wasn't able to answer his questions quite often fully. And but he did make a good point about federal employees being paid to enforce a private company's rules, and that those rules had a political bent to them, and a political agenda, ideological agenda that's beyond political. Because when you have an ideology that is Marxist or communist, that is against the precepts of the founding of our country. So you've got these employees that are working at the behest of a foreign ideology. That is a big problem. That's my words, not the whistleblower's words. So anyway, this congressman came on, and he's acting all, hi y'all, nice to be on here. And anybody got any questions? I got my DMs open. And they ended up having to tell this congressman how to handle his DMs on Twitter. He didn't even know what he was doing with that. But what got me going with him was one of the panelists said, "What did you think about Trump's announcement?" And this was after he said Devin Nunes was instrumental in renewing all the things that he's been against, that he feels has harmed us, caused us harm by the deep state. And Sebastian Gorka said, "Are you saying Devin Nunes is part of the deep state?" Well, he approved all the stuff that we're fighting against. And Sebastian Gorka got pretty bristled up. He said, if it wasn't for Devin Nunes, we would know nothing of this Russian collusion stuff. We wouldn't be anywhere near where we're at today. He said, well, that doesn't change it. He's the one that approves all this stuff. And then somebody said to him, what did you think of President Trump's statement? And this congressman, I believe it was Massey, he says, I don't know. I haven't listened to it. Can you fill me in? Bingo. Right there, I knew I'm dealing with a rhino. Because let me tell you, if you're a Republican in Congress not paying attention to what Trump says, hey, you're either for me or you're against me, okay? And it's been over 24 hours. It's all over the news. Even the young guys like Hexenhammer and Tim Pool were paying attention to what Trump said and analyzing what Trump said. And you've got a sitting Republican congressman who's been there for 10 years coming on a show and says he didn't even listen to what Trump had to say. I said to myself, well, we got a rhino on our hands. Well, anyway, so he did the usual double talk. Oh, yeah, we should not have a censorship by big companies and blah, 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 blah. And Gorka for a while, and I put it in the chats. I said, Sebastian's quiet or Gorka's quiet, one of the two, because he doesn't want to cuss. He's mad. And sure enough, a couple minutes later, Gorka gets back on there and says, you need to come on my show and justify what you said about Devin Nunes. And he said, I didn't say anything bad about him. I think he's a fine person. I'm just saying what he put on there, that he's been voting for everything that we've been fighting against. And, he said, you need to come on my show and tell me why you are insinuating that Devin Nunes is part of the deep state. I didn't say he's part of the deep state. He said, well, you certainly inferred it, and you haven't said he's not. And he said, you need to come on my show. We'll talk about it there. Well, he said, well, we can talk about it right now. And so Gorka said, fine, let me get a hold of Nunes, see if he'll come on here. He said, but Nunes has got he's running Truth Social. So he may have a non-compete where he can't come on Twitter. But it looked like he might have came on Twitter just for a little special appearance. And I was saying, oh, boy, here we go. And Devin Nunes communicated back, I've never had a problem with Massey. I don't know why he's got a problem with me. And I thought we were going to have a little show down there, but they couldn't get it together. This Massey guy was getting a hold of one of his cronies that was supposed to support him in this Nunes conflict. But then he begged off. He said, he's at dinner with his parents. He can't come on the show. And Gorka said, well, we'll just have to take care of it another time then. But you need to explain yourself. If you don't do it tonight, you need to do it with me. And he didn't let it go. And I thought that was a very interesting back and forth. So remember this person's name, Massey. He said he'd been in Congress 10 years. He could give a damn what Trump puts out, and he's bashing Devin Nunes. And he's against McCarthy, even though I know McCarthy's got his flaws, but hey, you got to be able to plant people, and you cannot have somebody that is totally pro-Trump, totally towing the line, and then expect to get him in there with all those rhinos. You got to have somebody that can play both sides, but is your player. And I think McCarthy is Trump's player, but he cannot act like he is a Trump groupie because he won't get in. Okay, let me see what's going on in chats. I've been preaching. Hi, Debbie. I'm keeping my vibrations high. True colors will show. That's right, Georgia. That's right. If he didn't fight like hell, and if he didn't have a big ego, they'd have chewed him up and spit him out just like they did everybody else. Anybody that, hey, if you don't think much of yourself, who else will? Okay? If you don't think a lot of yourself, don't expect anybody else to either. You got to have a big ego, but you got to deserve a big ego. You got to walk the walk. Okay? You got to have promises made, promises kept. You got to be a leader. That's what Trump's statement was last night. He's a leader. And the fact that this congressman didn't even listen to his message shows me that he's not in tune with the leadership. Because the saying is, even though Trump honk lost the election, the rule is the last person who won the nomination for presidency is what's called the titular head of the Republican Party. He's the titular head. That is back in party rules going back 50, 75 years. Okay? Even though Biden's there, Trump is the titular head of the Republican Party. And the fact that this character got up there and said, I didn't listen to him. You tell me what Trump said. I didn't listen. And he's working against Nunes and he's working against McCarthy when Trump is working for both of them. That tells me right there that guy's a rhino. I don't care what he says. And I hope he goes to Gorka's show, Sebastian Gorka's show, and gets taught a lesson. Now, one thing, Sebastian, he has a temper, and he controlled it this evening. According to Frank, he had somebody else, a conflict that he kind of cut loose. I wasn't tuned in for that, but unless I got some names mixed up. But Gorka doesn't realize that the ultimate goal here, there's very few people who know what the ultimate goal is in the strategy. I won't say the word PLAN, but he's not one of the ones that know it all. There's maybe 5 civilians and maybe 5 military that know the whole thing. One of them is Mr. T, okay? So that leaves 9 others. And Sebastian's not one of them. So he got a little upset over this business with the FISA thing being renewed. And this congressman was trying to cue in on that, saying, well, he voted to renew FISA. And yeah, Nunes did vote to renew the FISA because FISA works both ways. They abused the FISA courts to try to set Trump up. Then they wanted to get rid of the FISA rules and cover all that stuff up. Nunes said, no, we want to keep FISA the way it is. Why? Because if they use it against Trump, we can use it against them. FISA works both ways. So they're not tuned into that, but I'm tuned into it. So that's what is giving them the ability to go through some of the things that they're going through. Let me see what else I got up here. I've been going on, and I want to see what people want to talk about in the chats. Because I got myself wound up with this situation with the Twitter files and that FBI agent. He just seemed to be lost in the conversation. Not him, he wasn't lost, but all this back and forth was kind of drowning out what he was saying about how serious this abuse was and how it is going beyond a political thing. It's not even as bad as it is for the FBI to be politicized. It's even worse for it to be ideology driven. Ideology. And I think a lot of people missed what he was trying to say. Yeah, let me see. Well, we're rolling, Eggman. We're on a roll. We're like butter. We're on a roll. This thing won't be done till every I is dotted and every T is crossed. A deep scraping of this. That's right, Georgia. And it's not just in America. It's emanating from Europe. And CHYNA. That's the way you pronounce that, with a Y. Let me see. I got a couple things I'll put up here. Now, here's Tim Pool. He had a good show. He's pushing the boundaries a little bit. Euthanasia has become the leading cause of death in Canada. Oh, you got a hangnail? And you got a bunch of money in your house? Okay, well, just end it all. You look pretty miserable. Just end it. So that philosophy, that ideology is what we're fighting. And then now I don't mind putting other people's channels up. If somebody wants to go watch a video on another channel that I watch or anything like that, that's fine. Whoever's getting the word out, This is in our stomping grounds, California, America. So you may want to, if you heat your home with firewood or like to barbecue, or even if you don't, but you want to have the right to, these are things to keep up with. And I had a meme that fits right beside that one. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, wait a second. Let me move this over here. Okay. Connie Newsom, Nancy Pelosi's nephew. And I will put this one up. Here. There you go. Solar panels. Wintertime, it's solar panels. Oh, and I didn't ever notice that. The smoke is going over his solar panel. Clouding out his solar panel. Hi, Sandy. You're in Vancouver, Canada. Yeah, those solar panels don't work very good over there, do they, honey? Where'd Doug go? I was waiting for him to put another comment up. He split. Let me see. Maybe I missed it. He's gone. Okay. Let's see. Just going through the chats, folks. So anyway, here we go. This business of the FBI getting involved in what we hear, what we're able to say. This is way back in Napoleon's day, when you control the message, you got a lot of power. And we're supposed to have the power. The people are supposed to have the power. But this business of all these social media sites, and all of them, being infested with people that have power in our federal government that also either possess an ideology that's hostile to our freedoms or are willing to play along with those that are hostile to our freedoms, go along to get along. That's got to come to a stop. And this congressman tonight that was on Twitter that didn't even care what Trump had to say, didn't even want to listen to him, when that's exactly what Trump was addressing when he said the survival of Western civilization hangs in the balance, victory or death. And that bonehead didn't even listen to it. Makes me mad. Anyway, I said that lawsuits were going to be cropping up on all kinds of things. I'm going to play one more video because they were talking about, can the FBI be saved? Can the FBI be saved, or is it going to have to be totally torn apart and have to get a new FBI? Well, I want to play this video, and I want you to listen, especially to the last part. And keep in mind that he's on CNN. And this is for some of my new viewers. I know many of you have seen this before. But he's on CNN. And that producer, one of two that we know of, I showed you last night, had been sentenced to jail. And I won't get into details of what he did, but it was taking advantage of little ones. So anyway, just listen to the last thing this man says and Jim Acosta's reaction.
Let me close with one other issue on defunding. If you think that state and local police can follow the Iranians, follow the Chinese, follow the Russians, follow one of the most horrific things in America, that is cyber pornography against infants. If you think they can follow white-collar crime, if you think they can follow mortgage fraud, that is not a state and local problem. You may object to what happened in Mar-a-Lago, but if you say defund the FBI, let your kid be abused by an adult. That's what the FBI does. Good luck, Jim.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, birds of a feather flock together. And what he was focusing on, this gentleman being interviewed, he was focusing on exploitation, the exploitation. Hi, Doug. I thought you left. I was going to go over this child exploitation. Now, that is something that I guess we're allowed to say now. And rather than really focusing on what might be happening physically, kinetically, militarily, that there's going to be some kind of, it may come to that. But I think we need to see what's going on the battlefield of information. And this guy laid it right out there on CNN about the FBI. Yeah, they got all these guys on Twitter. They got all these guys pulling these stunts, but they've got thousands of agents, and not all of them answer to the seventh floor. They're making moves, and I think it's going to be a combination. I think we're going to see, first off, we're going to see what we have been seeing that's not being reported, large amounts of arrests concerning exploitation. And I know there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of arrests this year and the year before, and we only heard of a couple high-profile ones, but I'm sure there's going to be, was a keyword? I'm sure there's going to be more information cropping out from there. I think the whole thing is to avoid a military situation. I know it's been said the military is the only way, but that, I think, can also infer that military involvement in this information collection and this information operation, not psychological operation, information operation, is needed, because the civilian part of our government does not have control over the media. That's why I think Elon Musk's first purchase of Twitter was facilitated through the Department of Defense as part of an information operation. So that's, I think, if we can get away with that being the extent of military involvement, and we can take care of removing bad actors, and I'm hoping that Arizona is going to be the first big setup, because it said the first arrest will show the direction. This is an older meme, but what the heck? This is what it's boiled down to. We're living in I chopped off the bottom of that. I'll have to get that redone. Angela, she's Angela, okay, you might be right, honey. Who's going to arrest you, Angela? Nobody's going to arrest you, honey. That's right. I got to put that one back up. Here's one. A little off color, but we got our memes to have a little, what's embarrassing, Georgia? You mean what we've been going through with these, what these kooks are making us do? Anyway, here I had the about lawsuits. I got this off the NPC show too. He did a show. He does little clips out of some of his videos. That's what Tim Pool does. He'll have a 2-hour long discussion with somebody, and he'll get, an interesting thread and make a sub video out of it. That's what I was talking about doing on the other channel before it got taken down, was getting the areas where there was like 10 minutes of a solid thread of that would make a good video people watch. But they took my channel down. Now I have to go through it all again somehow, but I'm going to start doing that, putting up smaller videos. But anyway, here he put coach sued for benching non-kneeler. A girl who refused to kneel. And so the pendulum's swinging the other way. And that's just like we discussed about this Loudoun County supervisor, whatever he is, that's had charges filed against him for what he did to that father who was upset because his daughter was accosted. He is going to be liable, civilly liable for a lawsuit now from that father. And I showed you about Chloe, the young girl who wants to reclaim her natural state. I'll put it that way. She's going to sue the doctors and the counselors, quote, counselors, and all these screwballs and Fruit Loops, that put her in that situation. There's going to be lawsuits, and there's going to be lawsuits over this muzzling people from speaking their mind and doing it in an unlawful way. So I think Trump's little message yesterday, you're going to see people making a choice. They can either continue to support an anti-constitutional ideology while they're working for the federal government and take a gamble that in 24 months they won't have to deal with Donald Trump. So if they go that way and lose that bet, not only are they going to lose their job, but they're going to be open for lawsuits, just like this coach, just like that supervisor in Loudoun County, just like the people that Chloe's going to sue. Okay? So they got a choice, and they've been thinking about it all night. That congressman might not have been thinking about it, but he's full of bull, because I guarantee you he listened to every word. But he acted right, like I didn't listen to Trump, trying to minimize Trump when Trump is the head of the party. That's official. That's not my opinion. He's the titular head of the Republican Party, period. I don't care what Mitch McConnell does with the Republican money or nothing. Let Mitch McConnell sell $99 cards with his face on the damn thing. See how well they sell. We don't need your money, Mitch. So, but I guarantee that Congressman listened to everything Trump was saying and knows exactly what's going on. And I'll keep his career on my radar screen, because I want to see what's underneath his rug. I'll put it that way. You leaving us, Dory? Okay, have a good night, honey. Yeah, Karen said hit that like button. Ha ha. So anyway, we're going to see some lawsuits flying around, and it's just beginning. It's just beginning. And I had to get a screenshot of this. I've had this for a while. But what they're trying to do to our culture, let me see if I got that other one in here. It's disgusting. Well, I'll disgust you all another night, so I'll just put this one up. This is disgusting enough. This is what they call holiday entertainment. Let me put it up here. Here you go. Merry Christmas. Violent night. That's right, Georgia. He was minimizing him. He's trying to. Violent night. David Harbour is Santa Claus. Watch his trailer now. I'm not watching that crap. But who would even think, who would even think, this is Universal Studios. They're losing money hand over fist. So is DC Comics. So is, well, Marvel Comics. The only thing that's saving them is Spider-Man and a couple of, I think, Avengers. Everything else is going right down the toilet because it's woke, violent garbage. Let me see. And these power outage things, I took screenshots a couple days ago, last week, I think, really. These substations getting hit in Florida and different states. I mentioned about these back and forth mercenaries. This is a strategy that they were doing in Ukraine. Areas that the Russians had taken over. There were squads going out there not trying to knock out the power stations in areas that Russia had taken over to cause stress, discontent, the populace to get upset and deprive people of heating and, live a comfortable life. So we had a lot of these back and forth mercenaries come back to this country. And now you're seeing people that know what to hit, when to hit it, all over. They're doing this. Investigation and attacks on power stations across the U.S. So, yeah, I think we're going to see that's going to be part of the awakening. When I think when they put two and two together for us, they already know. And they get the right people in custody and present this to the American people. That will be one thing on top of all the other insults that are going to help the Great Awakening. And I didn't put this up. I guess I will. Oh, this is bad news from Ukraine. This was 2 weeks ago. U.S. MERC involved. 11 POWs, and they got it on film. You can read that headline for yourself. And there's a lot more than that that have happened because of U.S. involvement, and there's going to be proof dead to rights. It's sad. And how did that last video play, folks? Because if it played good, I got another one because I was talking about Kanye West. I was talking about Michael Jackson. I was talking about James Brown. Okay. I'll play it anyway. See how it plays because the video's not that. I got about 5 more minutes before I know videos won't play good. But the music industry, we're going to start hearing a lot of stuff like this, okay? Let me cut my mic off so you all can hear it.
What do you think about the coincidence that Aaron Carter died after tweeting about Kanye? Crazy! Back into conspiracy land. It is totally bizarre that Aaron Carter's last tweet was in response to Kanye. Kanye had tweeted about Harley Pasternak and had tweeted the thing that we spoke about earlier, and that Harley Pasternak basically was controlling him, was going to drug him, and then Aaron Carter tweets, "We should talk face to face," or "We should talk man to man," or something about this. And then the next day, Aaron Carter is dead in a bathtub. And dead in a bathtub is also how Brittany Murphy died, and Brittany Murphy had something to do with Harley Pasternak. He was in the documentary about her, and yeah, I don't know. It is worth at least being a conspiracy theory. All I'm saying.
Somebody ended up dead in the bathtub. So anyway, guys, let me see what's going on in the chats. And yes, God is in control. He always wins, but I want to make sure I'm on his team. I just don't think I'm on his team. You know? A lot of people think they're doing the right thing, but many are called and few are chosen. Watch out for, she's linked to the EU banking system. Oh, that's right. I'm not getting any phony credit cards. Here we go. This was from Turning Point USA. Turning Point USA was going to sue one of the big news companies for when they were having their meeting, get together. I think it was MSNBC. I'm not sure. One of the big news companies was saying that they were radical and had NAZI ties. And Turning Point USA said, if you don't retract that, we're going to sue you. And they retracted it and didn't repeat it. So anyway, that's a good little meme for you all to take a look at, end it up. And I'm going to try to play Laura Logan. If it plays choppy, we'll just, I don't know. What do you think? A lot of my new subscribers, I haven't explained about Nessun Dorma, and all my videos are gone except on the RUMBLE. Oh, I got a report from Chris Hayes. I'll talk about that some other night. That's right, Bubba. We wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for God, right? That's right. It's fragile already. Okay, guys, I'm gonna play Laura, and hopefully she won't play choppy. Okay, guys? Let me put her up. Even though is this the complete one? I don't know. This might be the complete one. So we'll see how it plays. Okay, guys, I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I'll see if I can get back with you tomorrow night. If not tomorrow night, Sunday night. So y'all take care, and thank you so much for joining me. Watch Laura Logan, and this is Mountain Man, over and out.
Corralled into this box where we either have to hate Vladimir Putin and believe everything evil that's said about him and love Ukraine, and there's no in between. And that reminds me a lot of, you're either a white supremacist or you go with the Democrat narrative on everything under the sun.
The most lethal terrorist threat to the homeland today, white supremacy.
I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
I mean, there's as much interference here as you could possibly
Right, and Laura,
even get to Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Kerry, Mitt Romney, and all their children who earn millions from Ukrainian gas companies. These days, it's hard to believe anything. They lied about Russian collusion. They lied about Ukraine. There's so much more going on in Ukraine that no.
Ideological.
As a journalist, I understand what is the truth. You don't like being lied to. On a big scale. When we're told you're only 100%. Who's a power you can find it, like so many. And honestly, with big tech and with election fraud, these don't know this actually voted in.
How to back better. We have to build back better. Build back better.
gets to the population, there are many of us that will move heaven and earth to understand.
We are fighting the same battles all over the world to pretend that this Putin has been warning for 15 years that he is not going to stand by while the globalists take over the world, build bioweapons facilities and whatever else they're doing. Ukraine has been a center of money laundering. Question: we have an Lieutenant Colonel Vindman.
Lieutenant, you always civilians calling you by your rank?
As Lieutenant Colonel, he didn't even make Colonel, and he said President his policy should be in the foreign government. Telling Ukrainian government officials, don't listen to the
It's July 25th phone call with Ukrainian President Zelensky. The president back.
We're shocked. He's given a cushy job for life at Georgetown University, and we're told the president of the United States can't its foreign. We want you to look into something.
They put in place someone solid.
Hypocrisy and dishonesty here, and Ukraine is at the center.